Hey guys, today we have a comedian for you. His name is White Chocolate Gangster, and yes, his stuff is just as funny as his name. I was scrolling, and his content is so binge worthy, man. I go check him out. He's freaking hilarious, and a lot of his videos are very relatable. Go check him out. I love you.
Oh, you got him.
No, you missed.
How did I miss? I literally hit him.
No, I dodged it.
How did you die?
Now I'm flying away.
Okay, well, I'm gonna catch you.
No, your guy can't fly.
Why the fuck not? He literally has.
Are you interested in a well-paying job that accommodates you? We're not just
What's up, guys? My name's Kyle. Today I'm gonna give you 5 tips on how to be a better person. But before we get into it, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and comment. These tips are gonna change your life. They're gonna make you better. They're gonna make you happier. They're gonna make you a stronger person mentally and physically. So, without further ado, let's get right into the video.
I handed it in earlier this week. Well, it's not here, so you'll have to redo it. It's ridiculous. Ugh. Wish somebody was. I will not curse. Frick. Ugh, darn it. You mother trucker.
Hey, say fuck.
No. Hey, what the?
Welcome back to another episode of Important Miscellaneous Talks. I am your host, Glasser Crossfield, and we are changing the world one podcast at a time. Our wonderful guest, please introduce yourself.
Hey, my name is Ethlyn Penton, or White Chocolate Gangster. I make TikToks. I've got about 1.7 million followers. I'm doing this for 8 years, and I finally got myself a platform. So I'm happy to be here. So, hi.
You've been on TikTok for 8 years?
No, I've been making videos for 8 years. Started in 2014 on YouTube, but on TikTok for like 3, I think.
Okay. Well, how did you get the nickname? Was that a nickname or that's kind of a self-appointed name?
It was kind of a name that when I was like 13 or 14, I made the joke, "Oh, I'm a white chocolate gangster," and I had a couple people laugh at it. And then fast forward a couple of years down the road, I changed my names a dozen times online. But then I looked it up, and nobody had the name White Chocolate Gangster. There was one guy. There's the Carl Gallagher or something from Shameless. One of his videos had White Chocolate Gangster. Just like one video re-uploaded to YouTube. But other than that, nobody had the name. Nobody had nothing, which was surprising to me. But I took the name and kind of rolled with it, and now it's just me.
Got you. So walk us through how you got to this point in your life today.
What was that, sorry?
I said, walk us through how you got to this point in your life today.
Oh, just in terms of the following?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, starting as a kid, I used to watch Minecraft videos a lot back in the day, and I loved it. I loved the idea of making the videos when I was like 8 or 9. I used to pretend to record my own little videos and whatnot, just like, doing my own thing. And when I was 13 years old, my mom let me make a YouTube channel, and I started uploading videos of me playing Minecraft, Call of Duty. At the time, I only had an iPod, so I was just filming my TV, talking over it, showcasing glitches and stuff on Minecraft PS3. That was my shit. But I did that for a good amount of time. And then I actually gave up like a good solid number of times. I tried and I failed, I tried so many different things. Obviously now the content I make is so opposite of gaming that you wouldn't have ever known that at one point it was like all I did. Especially now, like, look at my Instagram, I'm all in the gym, arm wrestling professionally and yada, yada, yada. And then I'm making these skits and stuff. You wouldn't have ever thought that, oh, he was a little Minecraft nerd. But I was, alas. Anyway, I digress. I just kind of kept going through it. And even the times I'd quit, I would try something else. Like I've done a little bit of music. I've done, the skits. I've done streaming. I tried Instagram. I tried a whole bunch of stuff. And then eventually, just near the end of high school, TikTok was kind of picking up a little bit, and it was then the Rockefeller Street meme that got my attention. It's like 1, 2, 7, 3 down, like that one. Then I downloaded the app to make my own video of it, and then I just kind of went from there. And it took me a little bit, but the little skits, the little jokes, I like to think kind of just my personality, just kind of worked well with the shorter videos, and it was just nothing but home run after that.
So was there you always wanted to be a full-time content creator, or was there ever a point where you were like, all right, this is not for me?
I always wanted to. I mean, I'm not yet. I certainly hope to be. But even ever since I was a kid, I mean, the whole concept of a job itself, I mean, most kids don't really like it, but even as an adult, it doesn't really seem fair. That doesn't really make a lot of sense. I mean, you slave away for half your day every single day for 65 years. You don't get to see the world. You don't get to explore. By the time you're supposed to retire, if you even get to, what is it that you're supposed to do? You know, you're old. You got no energy, right? So I didn't like the idea of having a job, and I didn't want to do that. Of course, you can't just not have a job, so you got to combine. You know, they say do something you love, you'll never work a day in your life. And growing up watching these videos and like in these games and stuff like that, I wanted to do that, and I looked up to so many big YouTubers and such. That it was just kind of something I wanted to do. So, and I did it for quite a while. Like I said, I did kind of give up a couple times, and you know, unfortunately, every once in a while, you try to do something and you got to look at yourself in the face and say, hey, you know what, this just isn't for me. And clearly I don't have what it takes. Clearly I'm not good enough. Clearly I'm not doing what I need to do. And that's what happened quite a bit, you know, making different channels and different types of content, giving up on so many different types of stuff. I was like, all right, maybe this isn't for me. But I kept picking it back up just because I love doing it.
Did you go to college?
No, I'm only 20.
Oh wow, young buck. Wow, you're 2000s baby. Wow. Well, where do you get your TikTok ideas from?
You know, a lot of people ask me that, where do I get my ideas from? And when I think it comes down to it at the end of the day is anybody that knows me in real life knows that my personality and how I act in real life is almost exactly the same as my videos are. My girlfriend, she gets asked all the time, is your boyfriend exactly like he is in the videos? And she's like, yes, he is. He's exactly the same. So to be honest with you, most of my videos are pretty much just straight improv. I have a very loose idea of the type of joke, and then I just kind of roll with it. My most popular videos are like the talking with moms, talking with kids, talking with teachers. That one, it started with the talking with kids. I was at work and I just happened to think of the idea, and then I planned out a couple of jokes over the course of the day. Then I went home and still kind of improv'd a lot of it, and the video fucking took off. I was busting the nut. I was, oh my God, this is great. And then all the jokes I didn't use in the part one, I used in the part two. And then I kind of expanded on it. I mean, it's kind of talking back in a situation where you shouldn't have talked back was what seemed to be kind of funny. And I thought, okay, well, what are some other situations where you're not supposed to talk back, but you wish you could? Well, teachers, you know, your mom, you know, stuff like that. And so I started doing that, talking with moms, talking with teachers. And lo and behold, both of those series were more popular than the Playing with Kids one ever was. And so I've tried a couple things since then, but those three were definitely the biggest ones. But yeah, really very, very loose general idea, concept of what I want, and then mostly just kind of improv here and there.
The kids one was really relatable because I remember when I was a kid and any character you had was like like unbeatable. Yeah, you kept
Yeah,
making up rules and regulations as you went on with the action figure fighting to make sure your guy
that's right.
didn't lose. So, what's the most relatable video to you in your life that you've made?
Um, Honestly, a lot of them. I mean, because most of my videos are improv, you know, they're coming right off of experience. And truth be told, I mean, I got three younger siblings that were both very like I'm 4 years older than my second youngest, and then kind of 4 years after that, and a year after that. So I've always had pretty young siblings. So the talking with kids ones definitely hit close to home. I remember that. My dad and I used to joke about that a little bit too, because he remembered how much I would be a little pain in the ass when we were playing action figures or whatever. But then my mom and I, when I was 12 to 16, that age, we did not get along very well. A lot of arguing, a lot of back and forth. I talked back a lot to teachers and stuff like that. So a lot of those videos, they kind of came naturally. Say probably the most relatable ones. I mean, it's kind of hard to put. Honestly, they're all pretty relatable. I mean, they all stem from some sort of experience that I have. It's very rare I'm completely making a video about something I have zero experience on or whatever.
About how long would you say the average video for you takes?
To make,
Yeah.
um, It really depends. Some of my videos, I go on my computer and I edit them to get some of those finer details down and just kind of overall increase the quality of the video, just how it's edited. You can really tell when someone used the TikTok app versus the Premiere app, or some sort of actual editor. You can tell that quality does increase. And I've tried doing that a little more. When I do those videos, those take quite a bit more time. We're probably looking like 2 hours to make one of those all the time, transferring. I got to change the file extensions with a couple different apps because my phone and my computer don't always cooperate. But for those videos, usually it's, I got to sit down and you got to give me like an hour or 2 hours. For just like a regular kind of off the phone video, probably like half hour, 45 minutes. Because although the videos, I say they're improv a lot, they're refined. So like I'll record a clip, the same clip like 10 different times until I get it to sound and feel the way I want it to. Each individual clip, even in the Playing with Kids videos or whatever, there's like 25 different clips in there. That video took like 45 minutes for me to film because I had to refine the anger, the innocence of the kid, the not a single fuck given of the kid, and just the anger and confusion that I wanted to just really nail those emotions down. So a lot of re-recording the same couple lines over and over again. But I'd say probably a half hour, an hour.
Wow, that takes a lot of dedication, man, and patience. Definitely.
Absolutely.
What would you say is your favorite video that you made so far?
There's a lot of videos that I've really liked, and I've always found that like the Playing with Kids video I fucking loved. Looking back on it, I think it could have been so much better, but some of the videos I think I like the most are the ones where I put the most effort into. I have one video I just recently uploaded. It's like this inspirational ad for like a work that's like super typical, and it's completely satire, but it's just kind of making fun of how works kind of treat you like shit, but then frame it in like their complete gold. And that video, took me, about an hour and some to get down. There's another video, I think probably one of my favorite ones. I gotta say, it's definitely up there. It'd be this one. It's like how people think I react when they say they're unfollowing me. Because I make some crude jokes. I'm pretty vulgar in a lot of my videos, and people often say, "Hey, that's really offensive. I'm unfollowing," or whatever, right? And I always kind of put myself in their situation to think that they think I give a fuck, which sounds so. Even when I had 20 followers, I don't care, right? I make videos because I like to make videos, and I know there are people out there that like watching them. And I'm gonna sound like an arrogant little prick here, but with almost 2 million followers, I mean, if one person's upset, but another, 20,000 are enjoying it, sorry, buddy, I'm not gonna change the video just for you. You're kind of the odd one out. And so I made a whole video where I say how they think I react, and the video was like the most dramatic, sad piano music. I'm like buttoning up my shirt in the dark and like staring at the mirror, like almost crying. It's like a documentary, so I'm like sitting down and being like, it just hasn't been the same since. And it's like just this like overlay, and it's like this super sad dramatic video, and I thought it was fuck hilarious. I was just pissing myself laughing, just because I found it just so ironic, and I think that one's probably up there for my favorite one, just because it was just, I put a lot of work into that one, and it's funny because if someone says, "Oh, so you don't care about your followers, I'm unfollowing," I can just tag the same video, and it would just be a cycle. So I thought it was amusing to me, so I guess I'll give you that.
So what video has given you the most backlash?
I've definitely had a couple videos that have come back on me. Most recently, I made one on my second account, actually, which has just been a spam account. I compared the difference between studs and sluts in what was intended to be kind of a satirical laughing manner, and video blew up. Less or so on my end, but for a good couple of days there, some bigger accounts, creators were making videos, tagging me, and just ripping me to shreds.
You said it was studs and sluts?
Yeah.
You made a video about how basically it's different when a woman has a lot of bodies and a man has a lot of bodies?
Yeah, it was people typically look down. It's a common thing you'll hear people will say, right? Oh, people they hate on women for being the slut, but then they praise men for being studs.
Oh,
And
okay,
when
okay.
they
I was
yeah.
thinking studs. I was thinking a different kind of stud. That's what I was
Oh
thinking.
yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So can you care to explain that dynamic real quick?
So the dynamic was, of course, like I said, was still intended to be kind of a tee hee ha ha funny point. But the idea was comparing how easy for somebody it would be to be a slut. If somebody only cared about sex and just wanted to have sex, um, it could be very easy for a girl to get as much sex as they want.
Mm,
Many guys, to no fault of the women, of course, it's back on the men, but many men would jump at every single instance to get with any woman, if they're desperate and horny enough.
mm,
Versus men, for a man that just wants to fuck as many girls as possible, right? For a man that just wants to sleep around and just be a stud and not care about who they are as a person, just sleep around, it would be a lot harder to do so. There's a lot of I'm going to say extra criteria that a man would have to meet. I mean, for a woman to just want to fuck a man, she pretty much just has to be a woman, right? Which is, like I said, the fault of the men and their inability to control themselves. But when it comes to men who just want to sleep with a bunch of women, men have to prove themselves a little more. Women lock themselves down a little more, right? So a man that's just going around trying to sleep with as many girls as possible would find that he most likely couldn't just open up his phone and text a bunch of girls and they'd all bounce on him without any hesitance.
why do you think people get so? Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Why do you think people get so offended from that fact?
you know, I was choosing my words carefully when I explained that because that's why I was kind of repeating myself a little bit and stuttering over my words because what I've learned is that you say one thing the wrong way and quite
Yeah.
literally a million people will
Mm.
try to literally contact my job and try to get me fired. Um,
Oh, sorry.
so, oh no, that's cool. It's kind of mostly done with I hope. But the video I made was a little more direct. It came off as though I was insinuating that it was all the women's fault, which was not my goal or intention. It came off like I was trying to imply that women deserve or have to give men sex. That women are just objects to be used and convinced of to have sex, and that's their only purpose. And when it really comes down to it, I think it landed on a big part of the wrong audience. Um, I think there's a certain type of person that can see that video and recognize that it was just supposed to be, like I said, that tee hee ha ha funny point, move on. And there's a certain type of person that can't see that type of video and that type of what I was saying as anything but a blatant attack and hate shaming women. And I understand that perspective. I do. I think it's a kind of a difference in how people see things. I mean, truth be told, for the first week and a half that video was up before it ended up blowing up in the wrong way, video was doing really well. I had a lot of positive feedback from both men and women, laughing, making jokes in the comments. And since this whole thing has kind of gone over, I've had a lot of messages from mostly girls actually saying, "Hey, I understood where you were coming from. You don't deserve the hate. I understood that you were just, kind of joking around and being a bit of a dick, but." They've all agreed that they can totally see where everyone else is coming from, which, like I said, I can't do. But I mean, there's a lot of comedians that say a lot worse and get a lot less flack, just because I think of the audience they say it to. But every comedian has a story. Not saying that I'm a comedian, but every comedian's got a story of how they made an offensive joke and got kicked off stage. It's just one of those things. Right.
Well, what's the biggest piece of advice you would give to someone who's an aspiring TikToker?
There's a whole bunch of little things that I would absolutely say, but I would say for the most part, pay attention to your analytics and trust the process.
Got you. Got you. Where would you say that you want to take your career?
I mean, I would like to take it as big as possible. I'd like to be as big as any one person could be, but
What's that in your eyes?
um, I mean, there's part of me that likes the concept of being like on stage, having the people around me that are just like in awestruck that I'm even there, which I already have to a little bit of a degree, but being kind of that level where people want to invite you on shows, they want to invite you to a podcast, they want to talk to you, they want to hear what you say. People want to hear what your opinions are. They care about you, and you end up just building so much that you get to that point of almost like a celebrity. But I don't know if I want to be like an actual celebrity. I like the idea of being well known, but even since I have kind of gotten kind of big, I've seen some positives and negatives to both the situations. So it kind of goes back and forth. At the end of the day, what I would like, what would make me content, is if I could make enough money from videos that I could do it as a job. Not saying I want to be super massively rich with the mansion and the Lamborghinis and all these other TikTokers out there that have like a 20-bedroom mansion or shit. Like I don't need that. I don't want that. But if I could just be content and make enough to live comfortably, not like comfortably, but comfortably, where money's not the biggest issue, and I could just make my videos and make my jokes. That's really, I think, my end goal. And everything beyond that is just extra.
I could see you hosting the Tonight Show, honestly.
I think I totally could. I absolutely could.
Well,
there'd be a lot of bullying.
Say that again?
I said there'd be a lot of bullying. I would bully a lot of people. But I think it'd be fun.
It would be. How did you get into arm wrestling competition? How does one get into that?
Well, I started 2.25 years ago. I started getting into weightlifting and stuff in high school, and I was watching some videos online. Devin Larratt, a really, really big, famous arm wrestler who I have had the pleasure of meeting and talking with. I watched some of his videos, and I just kind of started really looking at the sport. I was like, this is really cool. I really enjoyed it. And of course, in high school, when you're a kid, you arm wrestle a couple people here and there, right? And somebody beats you, and you're like, fuck, I want to go beat them. And then when I found the sport online, just by kind of happenstance, it turned out to be so much more than I thought it could have been. And then, like 3 months after that, by wild coincidence, a very, very old friend of mine, like from like 6 years ago when I saw him, he found an arm wrestling club in my city, and he made a whole arm wrestling Instagram account, and he was posting videos of his training and his progress. And I was like, holy shit, where is this club? Because I looked for a club in Lethbridge, where I live. Sorry, in Lethbridge, I looked for a club, couldn't find one. Could not find one for the life of me. Then when he found it, I was like, yo, what the hell? So I DM'd him, and he took me down there, and I went down, and I thought it was going to be some rinky-dinky little, couple, boys, just smoking weed and arm wrestling once every hour. But no, it was a full-on thing. I had trophies and like professional tables, the whole thing. And I was like, this is the real deal. And then from then, I mean, even the guy that was my friend, he doesn't even go anymore. I haven't seen him in a long time. But I've been up with it. I got a tournament on Saturday, actually, so 3 days from now. How to get into it? Honestly, there's probably a club in most people's cities. It might not be very big, but it's there. You can also download an app called ArmBet, which a lot of arm wrestlers have been kind of calling out and being sponsored. It's basically like it's like a meet and fuck website, but it's meet and arm wrestle. It's basically like, here's a bunch of people that are in your area. Yeah, it's like a bunch of people. Here's X person within your area. You literally get together and you arm wrestle. It's the idea that people who don't have a club, people who don't have a bunch of people, can find other people that enjoy the sport and get together, which is really cool, I think.
How do you train for a competition?
There's a lot that goes into it. There is a lot. There's a lot of different mindsets when it goes into it. I'm of the mindset that when you go to like practice or whatever, we kind of have practices Mondays and Thursdays. We all go down. It's like 10 of us. We'll arm wrestle for an hour and a half, 2 hours, right, on a bunch of different tables we got. We refer to that as table time, and a table time, I think, is absolutely essential to the training of arm wrestling. Endurance is super important. Your technique and your stamina goes a very, very long way, and being able to refine that against a bunch of different opponents, I think is key. With that being said, some people say that all you need is table time, and to that I disagree. I think your technique and your gameplay will come from the table, but the real work and the real strength, I do think, will come from the weights and come from the gym. And when it comes to that, yeah, it's a lot of arm workouts, a lot of very small movements, a lot of things like really small wrist curls, or we call it pronation curls, where you'll wrap something around your wrist and you'll just rotate it over and over again. Or you'll rotate it the other way. It just to refine your wrist, refine the tendons in your arms. That's a big one too. It's not just about muscles. There's a lot of tendons in your elbow, and they hurt. They hurt like a bitch, but they stiffen up. They get harder, and so you'll want to really beat down with like high impact stuff, like punching bags and stuff are really good. Just for building up the bone density, the tendon strength, the muscles, the whole thing, just in your whole arm.
I did not know the arm wrestling community was this intense. Wow.
It's big shit. It's getting bigger every day. Now that YouTube and a lot of bigger, faces online are getting into the sport, it's getting a lot bigger.
Wow. Okay. So, has any of your friends or women treated you any differently since your increased fame?
Yes. Yes.
Here to explain.
Thankfully, my close friends, my good friends, my girlfriend, most of them make fun of me for it. They bully me about it, which I love. I know that regardless of any amount of fame, regardless how much money I have, or will have, whatever, I know that they're real from the day one. But there are some times when I know stuff's up. There came a point when even I noticed I was being treated differently by a lot of people. Even my family, I noticed I was being treated differently.
For
There
better.
was a couple of times I felt worse. I was going into my to house, and immediately my friends were pointing cameras at me, or my siblings were pointing cameras at me, so they could prove to their friends at school that they knew me, which is such a cool concept that my siblings would care enough to have to prove to their friends, yeah, I'm his brother, because he's so cool, and you look up to my brother so much that you don't even believe the fact that I'm his brother, so I got to show you. It's such a cool, and I'm very, very grateful I can have that. But I'll tell you, man, when I felt like a stranger in my own home, when I felt almost rejected, which is it wasn't like an acceptance thing. I felt pushed away, like I was different, like I wasn't part of the family anymore. It was special when I was there instead of just I was home. I was just there. I felt kind of bad about that. Thankfully, they've kind of laid off of it and stopped, but there's still a little bit of it. My sister, we all went swimming together, my family, and my sister brought one of her friends, and her friend is eyeing me up and down the whole time. Obviously, because I'm hot as fucking Jack. I'm just kidding. But I ended up asking my dad, because they ended up going somewhere else for a brief second, and they're like, yeah, no, she knows you from TikTok. She really, really likes your stuff. She's really nervous. And I'm like, people aren't like, she wouldn't even respond to me. I made a couple of jokes like, hey, so what's your name? Wouldn't even look at me. Was too nervous to even talk. And so it's like,
wow,
I lose some of that a little bit.
Did you ever mention this to your family about how this makes you feel?
No, I didn't. I a little bit. I mentioned a couple, because there have been a couple situations. Like another time, I went to the pool with my girlfriend. I had 5 kids in the locker room, standing there wanting pictures, which again, super cool, very grateful. But I'm taking off my clothes here, guys. And then after they took the pictures, they proceeded to follow me around the pool, right? Do that shit where they just conveniently happened to end up in the same place as me, and they were following me around, splashing me a little. One kid jumped over me, so I've mentioned a couple things like that where I didn't appreciate the fact that I was being treated like I was different or was special. I don't know if it wasn't really a hint, but I'm going to say it as if it was. I don't know if I got the hint. Um, since then, I haven't really been that bad about it. But no, I didn't know how to bring it up. I didn't even know if I really wanted to. I didn't really know how to phrase it.
Are you Canadian?
Yeah.
That's crazy. I can always tell by the boot.
Oh yeah, eh? Didn't know about that, eh? Oh yeah.
That's rich. So that's very interesting. So is that some of the downsides that you were talking about earlier about being more well known?
Yeah, yeah. There's it doesn't sound like a downside. I've had people buy me food. Um, I've obviously people are being so kind and nice to you because they know you. They're trying to respect you and stuff, which is great. And it really doesn't sound. It sounds like a lot of big creators, and I'm going to say celebrity because I know they experienced it too. Not saying that I'm a celebrity because I'm not. But they talk about that is you don't know if people are being genuine anymore, and I think that gets missed a lot. I think people skip over that idea a lot. That yeah, you really don't know if someone's being genuine or they just want the brag of, oh yeah, I know this person, or they want money,
Mm.
for the really actually rich people that have all that money. You never know if someone's being genuine, and yeah, it is a downside. You're not getting the genuine side of people when you meet them. You know, you know that they know you, so they're treating you a particular way, and you feel different. You don't feel like you're one of everybody. You don't feel like you're with everybody. You feel like you're separate. Um, and it feels weird. It's not always very comfortable.
Interesting. It's just at the tip of the iceberg with the kind of fame that you're headed towards one day.
Oh yeah, I mean, this problem. I'm gonna say problem very loosely, but this will only get exacerbated as the follower count increases and fame goes more.
Definitely. Make sure you keep tabs on your mental health to get the therapy if you need it. So,
Yeah, absolutely.
so even so, your family, maybe to a lesser degree now, like you mentioned, but even your family treats you like a celebrity.
In a way, yeah. My parents not so much, but a little bit.
Hmm.
You know, it definitely felt a little like that.
And you kind of just want to be treated like everyone else.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like I said, there's just positives and negatives to it. Like do I, kind of like the attention, and do I like the fact that people already like me off the hop, and they want to be around me, and they want to talk to me. Like I said, I like the concept that somebody would even want to try to prove that they know me. Is such a cool, interesting concept that like I said, very grateful I get to have. Um, but yeah, there's some times where I wish I could turn it off and I could just go right back to this, especially like that time at the pool, right? Being eyed up by a bunch of kids. I felt terrible for my girlfriend. She was extremely uncomfortable the whole time. And I I can't turn it off. I can't say, hey guys,
Mhm.
stop, because they won't. And I felt horrible about that. I felt terrible because it's in moments like those where it's like, yeah, I would have rather just been another dude at the pool that nobody knew about, right? A whole bunch of times where I go to my parents' house. Maybe I had a bad day. I'd rather just be the son coming home to say hi, let's have dinner, rather than holy shit, he's here.
Hmm. Interesting. So have women for the most part tried to get your attention a bit more than before?
It's kind of hard to say. I've been in a relationship for most of the time that I've had my TikTok. There's only like the 3 or 4 years I've been on TikTok. I've only had like 7 month span where I was single. Um, but yeah, I do get the DMs and stuff like that. When I was single, I had Tinder for a little bit, and I shit you not, my first match and message ever was, "Here, are you that guy from TikTok?" And I was like, okay, can't fucking even date anymore. But I thought that was funny. But yeah, It's not that bad. Not oftentimes that girls are just throwing themselves at me, but I say it's kind of hard to say because I was kind of a little bit of a I was a bit of a fat kid in school. I wasn't looking too great, and over the past couple of years, my self confidence, my looks, my everything. I've hit the gym massively. All sorts of that stuff. So I've also built up my sense of just attractiveness. I would like to think, going to the gym, my body looks better. I'm more confident and happy with myself and who
Mhm.
I am. I'm less nervous in situations, right? I know how to have a conversation, things like that. Um, so, is it actually from the TikTok, or is it just that genuinely more than they used to be, are girls more attracted to me um, than they used to be? And so I'm just seeing that kind of side of things. I don't know.
Got you. Well, that's all the questions that I have for you. Thank you so much for coming on. Giggity.
Yeah, sure thing, man. I appreciate you having me. So.